Not to pick too much, but all forests are native. Every single forest is native. And if you go around telling someone I visited native forests, they might get a little confused, just a wee bit. So Mushroomon, these guys, they stand still and emit gas, instead of doing some sort of more active attack. This means that basically you have to walk into them in order to take damage. Which is, it actually makes them easier than most other enemy types. I get they were trying to do something different, but I don't think they did it right. Now, this fight can be a little difficult because the area you fight in is congested, but after you make enough space, you can get through no problem. Like, see, we just got ourselves to a wider area where it's much more convenient to fight these guys. But that challenge doesn't come from the Mushroomon, that challenge comes from the stage layout, which is a very independent thing of the Mushroomon. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a fan of the enemies approaching in a corridor like that, where you have very limited space to deal with them. I like that. I think it makes the battle more challenging, and I like that I had to find a way around them and then circle back to attack them. But I feel like they could have chosen better enemies for that also. Thanks for the 20 bits. Glad I went out of my way to get that treasure chest. So, these turrets sometimes fire out of sync. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if that's just because the turret's activation is based around how close you are to them. Like, your proximity to the turrets determines when they start firing. And I'm not sure if that's, intentional, or if they just couldn't figure out how to make the turrets work differently. You cannot just jump over the fireballs, by the way. They did think of that. They know you have a jump button. You can't just jump over the fireballs or anything. But it's okay, because the fireballs deal a negligible amount of damage. The music in this stage really reminds me of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, like, a lot. It's not as anime as the other music in the game, but, you know, it really fits with the atmosphere they're trying to make here. I'm not sure why these Shell Numamon are here. They were never a challenging enemy. But at least we get 2 big enemies to fight at the same time. Now, fighting 2 Aepmon at the same time is really cool, because you have to time your attacks between their swings a lot better, especially when their attacks get desynced. And I like this kind of hit-and-run tactic that you have to employ on the bigger enemies. I like it. I mean, I'm sure you could be a little more reckless and still get away with it, but I want to get hit the least amount of times possible. Now, 5 Aepmon, that would be ideal, but I think most people might think that's too much. I think they might think that's going a little too far. Like, this is meant to be playable for people at almost any age, so I feel like 5 Aepmon at once might be a little overkill for that demographic. Oh look, it's Skull Mammothmon. So, Neemon will incorrectly tell you that Skull Mammothmon is slow. He's correct that it moves towards you slowly, but it rotates incredibly fast. So, trying to take advantage of its slow speed by attacking from behind, that doesn't work. It just rotates way too fast for you to get a good combo in. So we're just gonna Digivolve and take care of it that way. We're near the end of the level anyway, so Digivolving there, not a big deal. Especially since the fight against Gomamon is easy. This is a really short location. Like, this is it for the native forest location. And then we move on to something else. You know, Shoutmon, you made the right decision. You cannot deny someone the right to combat just because they have fluctuations. They might be in grave danger because they have fluctuations, but if they still want to fight you anyway, you shouldn't deny them that. Maybe you should maybe you should get a contract signed or make a waiver or something, but I don't know how that works in the digital world. The point is that if someone with fluctuations wants to duel you, then they should still be allowed to do that. People with fluctuations want to experience life the same way as anyone else. So this stage, I like it. I like that to get to the power-ups you have to break open these flowers. And that, you know, the flowers kind of act like a quick escape because they close shortly after you open them. And I also like the bridge in the middle because that means characters that are good at spamming projectiles can just spam projectiles across the bridge, and the other player will have a difficult time crossing. Lots of room to run away. Lots of fun stuff to play with in this stage. We're back to the Smash Bros. Style scoring system, where there's a timer counting down, and I mean, you know how the Smash Bros. Scoring system works, so I don't really need to explain that. And if you don't know how it works, I don't want to explain it, because it's kind of hard to explain, so there. I do find it odd that Gomamon's Digivolution isn't a more recognizable one, but I'm sure they chose that for a reason. I'm sure there's a very good reason. Because this game is made with marketability in mind. I mean, you know, and I don't know what all the kids are into exactly. Like, I've watched the newer seasons of Digimon, but I bought a Power Rangers toy recently, and I didn't even know it was a Power Rangers toy because I didn't know Dino Charge was a thing. So, you know, maybe more kids are into Plesiomon than Victramon or Aegisdramon. I don't know if that's how you pronounce Victramon or Aegisdramon, but I'm pronouncing it based on the way I feel like it should be pronounced, okay? If Digimon wants to show up and tell me that this whole time it should have been pronounced Machinedramon instead of Machinedramon, that's fine. I will listen to him, I promise.